It's a very good evening to you and a warm welcome to this week's edition of Breeding to Win, fresh back from Cape Town, where we had an action-packed weekend of racing and sales. Well, thanks to Landsrijk Hotel and Spa, the CTS ready-to-run sales was fabulous. Great prices and a great weekend had by all. Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights that happened last Saturday and Sunday out at Durbanville Racecourse.
375, 160,000, 80 bid, here we go to 180, 200,000, here we go to 200 now.
Struck late, got him late. Marcus, good luck to you. Another 225, 225, another one over to 225, to a good judge. 350, your man Ross, 200,000, that's it. 200,000, 200,000, the best dressed bloke here. 200,000.
1 million, sold for 1 million.
Actually, we were very fortunate to get 4 horses. We were underbid on a couple that we didn't get. But I'm pleased with what I've got. I bought a lovely National Emblem colt out of a Western Winter mare. I think we got him at the right price. And then obviously sentimentally, I bought 2 horses related to National Currency and Harry's Charm. One out of by Great Britain, out of a mare called Enchanted Dawn that I trained. And then obviously National Currency's brother out of Enchanted Dollar by Seventh Rock. It's her last foal. She died giving birth to the foal. So she was reared by hand by the farm. He was reared by hand. Very, very spoiled horse. But a lovely big horse. I think going to take time. Give him all the time in the world, but I think he could develop into anything. And then at the end, pretty close to the end of the sale, I bought a lovely Silvano filly out of a Jetmaster mare that I used to train as well. Neat filly. Paid a little bit for her, but I think she could be a smart filly given the time. The concept, the people that run the sale are amazing. Not knocking any other sales companies. They all do their jobs in their own way. And I think we're blessed to have 2 sales companies that produce great sales, but you've got to go a long way to top these guys. They just lay it on for you. The consummate hosts, you don't want for anything. From the time you put your foot off at the aeroplane, everything's on tap for you, and you're really spoiled and treated well. And it's only a pleasure coming here. Your clients want to spend money with the company, and you feel comfortable to come here and look at the horses and spend money.
I believe you stayed at the Taj Hotel. How did that work out?
Well, Jules, I've stayed there once before when I came here for the Met. You know, for the last 10 years I've been doing the Met thing, and we've been looking for various hotels. I enjoy the Taj. It's a lovely hotel, and we're having good fun there.
We all live in hope and die in vain, but you know, if you haven't got a ticket, you haven't got a chance. And you know, it's just a wonderful initiative, and it's nice. It opens everything to all aspects of owners, from your big buyers to your small buyers. So everyone's got a chance, and with 180 horses on the sale, it does basically enhance your chances. So look, we bought some horses. Whether we've bought a Captain America, I'm not sure, but time will tell.
50,000 able to 450,000 able to 450. I'm reaching for the hammer.
I think they do it very well here in terms of the presentation of the sale. I suppose from an auctioneering point of view, for me, I always struggle a little bit with unreserved sales. You're sort of out of control. You're just adding up in effect. But look, it was good. Everybody seems to be reasonably happy, and that's the main thing. I got to say, I think some of the parading could be improved upon in terms of the run up the straights. You know, Balmoral and the Rock and a few of the others were very good, but I think 1 or 2 of the other studs probably let themselves down a bit. There isn't the pre-emphasis on time, which is good. I personally quite like that, but I think that will change. You know, if you see your export protocols change and you get the Asian buyer, and there's a preeminence on time and things like that, so you'll have to change that. But no, I think generally the presentation of the sale was good.
It was a very solid sale, Julie. We're very happy with the results. What is truly amazing is the fact that the median rose by 50%. That proves that it was a solid sale. There was good horses for everybody. It also shows the quality of the horses across the board that were brought by the vendors to this sale. So we're very happy with the growth. The average was a solid 195,000 Rand, which shows a steady, solid, good quality sale.
I think it's going to take a lot to top you guys.
Thank you very much, Julie. We're looking forward to the next sale in Johannesburg, and we hope that we achieve the same
And
success.
going for 1.1 million. 1.1 million. Congratulations, sold for 1.1.
Ronaldo bounded away from them.
And very well done to Sean and to Chris. I think they've got a bit of a horse in their hands.
Peregrine on the far inside, but Pomodoro, and Pomodoro stays on the better one well today.
He is really a nice horse to ride.
Pomodoro in the middle's picked it up in the closing stages, and Pomodoro has raced away and has won it well.
He just stamped himself as a top 3-year-old in the country.
Smanji and Pomodoro, here comes the line, very close, maybe Smanji in a photo.
And I'm excited for Pomodoro to get to stud, and I'm excited for him to start producing. It's just a whole new adventure and a whole new start, and believe you me, when Chris and I see them in the ring, we will put our head down.
Well, one of the gentlemen behind CTS is no other than Chris van Niekerk. Our Breeding to Win team caught up with Chris at the sales to get an update on CTS.
Thanks to Julie in the studio. Now it gives me great pleasure to talk to my friend Chris van Niekerk. He's the chairman of CTS, and I'm down at the Lanzerac ready to run sale, where I'm going to talk to him about CTS and doing a little bit about Salesgate and how things are looking in the upcoming months for breeder, vendor and buyer. But Chris, thanks very much for coming in and joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Wonderful to get together with you. You know, you're a friend, a client, and you're in the hot seat. It's your hobby, horse racing. They've got you talking about
well, I thought it was a hobby.
Yeah. Let's start off with CTS. You know, you're the chairman there. A company that seems to be on the up. How are you trading?
Well, at the moment, because we are a fledgling company, we're not in the black yet. We clearly watch our finances very carefully. We happen to have a few accountants and bankers around to keep us on a straight and narrow. But our aim is to create these alternate platforms, innovative ways for vendors to sell and for buyers to buy racehorses.
No, I agree. When CTS started out, was there not a mandate said that our business is in Cape Town?
When CTS started out, I was not directly involved.
Okay.
I became involved afterwards. My understanding is that it started off by a general feeling of unhappiness with the way sales were being conducted at the time. And there was a feeling that one should be a little bit more innovative and create a more, shall I say, sophisticated platform to sell horses. And if one goes back with the first premier sale in the convention center. Yes. It was a joint venture between the TBA and CTS.
Yes.
So I guess that the company started off with a view to do some sales in the Cape. You know, Lionel Cohn used to have sales there. He disappeared off the scene. So I presume that is how it started.
You saw the void, or the company saw the void?
Absolutely, yeah.
And thought, and that gets started. And the company had a few potholes in the road initially. Some guys backed away from the operation.
Yeah, not so much.
Breeders, I mean.
Yes, I'm not too sure that breeders backed away from the sales platform.
Yes.
But certainly there was a coming and going at board level of certain breeders.
Chris, with regard to the $1 million race that CTS have put up, it's a great fillip the industry, and it's a lot of money. And has that gone smoothly? Because you guys have been at the coalface of innovating, if I can use that.
Yeah, it has gone smoothly. If you look back at last year, the entries for the January sale and the March sale had already happened by the time we announced the $1 million. Now, this year you can see we've had our most entries ever for the January sale already, and I think the $1 million has played a role. The main objective of that, of course, is to stimulate interest. New buyers, not just locally, but from overseas. That was the main objective of introducing the $1 million, because you're now making sense to an overseas buyer with the kind of money you're putting forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And if one looks at all the bonuses that you put up for your different races, whether it be Ready to Run or any that attached to Book 1 and Book 2, quite a bit of emphasis has been put on Book 2 now, with trainers getting a $1 million bonus, $2.5 million race with Book 2. That's, again, a wonderful incentive.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's to try and let people know that the quality of horses that you can attract to the March sale does not necessarily make it a inferior sale to the January sale. There's no doubt.
That's right. So internationally, they come out. A lot of international cars come out to Book One, and the averages is much higher.
Absolutely.
It's a very early time in the year, but it seems to work very successfully.
It works well for it. It is early, and many breeders will tell you that it's too early for them.
Yeah.
But it's working pretty well. The averages are good, and of course, it's the right time of the year in Cape Town.
Yeah.
From an overseas visitor point of view.
Absolutely, couldn't be better. Chris, another thing is, if one looks at your figures that you're banding out there by CTS, that you're going to spend in the region of 23.5 million in that ballpark in the coming years over these sales. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you take the next 18 months, more or less.
Yes.
That is the kind of money that CTS will cause to be paid out into the industry and to stimulate it.
Yeah.
Now, they'll be looking after to have new buyers coming in. Certainly, as you know, we guarantee payments to our vendors. That must be good for the industry because the breeder is now assured of getting his or her money.
How much pressure does it put on the company?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Strong pressure.
We carry the full interest burden of that.
How is debt collection? It's a perennial problem universally.
Except I think we have a remarkable team. And here I must commend the two individuals, Adrian Todd and Amanda Carey. Remarkable collection. I can tell you that 2 months ago, when I last checked, for all of our sales we've had, we're way over 99% of collection done.
That's very good.
Done and dusted.
That's very good.
So we do pretty well. We do a pretty stringent
screening
check up front, financial check on buyers. But the staff is doing a great job.
Chris, now your different sales have different times. You've got 90 days, say, for this sale, and Book One you've got less. Where do you sit and work that out?
I think you look, if you take Book One and you look at the sort of your buying market, and in terms of the money that's being spent, we want to get that money in quicker, clearly. Whereas things like a ready to run, where you probably look a little bit more after some of your smaller buyers, maybe smaller vendors, you're more flexible.
Okay, now let's go back to Salesgate, if you don't mind. It's something that I wish both teams would offer an olive branch to each other and say, let's move on for the good of the industry, and they're wonderful people in both teams. For me, there seems to be a lack of communication. I don't know which team. I know that Bloodstock South Africa or TBA have said that they've tried many times to go out there and they haven't had responses to mails and phone calls. And I've heard that you've been for months trying to team up with them in a way. What would you say to the question that the communication has been bad?
I think communication, I would agree that it has been bad for the simple reason that I believe if you want to engage with another party with the view of finding a solution, then you do that directly and not necessarily via the printed media.
Was the printed media a last resort? I'm just wearing both hats here, Chris, and one's got to say that they said, no, we firmly believe that we've spoken to them and said, let's do something. Now, their gripe could possibly be that Mickey Goss and his powerful setup have moved across the floor, so to speak. Put you in a position where you guys have said, well, let's do something, and it seems to clash. I think that's their question. How do you see that whole question?
Well, just to maybe put the facts on the table around the communication, because I do believe that I personally have been accused of not returning calls, etc. Now, at that time when all this was going on and a ready-to-run sale in Johannesburg came up as a possibility, I had been traveling a lot. So I wrote to Mrs. Rowett once she made direct contact via email to me and said to her that it's very possible I could have missed many calls from many people at that time or during that time. However, I had my landlines and my cell phones checked. We announced the ready-to-run sale in Johannesburg on the 2nd of September. I had my lines checked from that day because I couldn't believe that I would be so rude as to not reply to people's calls. And not one call came through from Susan from the 2nd until today.
Have you spoken to her since then?
I replied that to her. She came back to me and said, yes, it is true. She admits that she never phoned me from the moment we made the announcement. So at least we cleared that area.
Right.
It was not a matter of not wanting to talk and being rude.
Yeah.
Secondly, I personally spent about 18 months until sort of middle, maybe early last year, calendar year, negotiating with the TBA to create one sales company for the country. And at one stage it went very well. We were very close at one stage.
What would you call it?
What would I call it?
What was going to be called? Was it going to be a unified name?
Well, I think Bloodstock South Africa is a good brand.
Yes, got you.
Absolutely. So there's no problem with that.
Yeah.
We just believe that you should run a sales company on a commercial basis, in a professional way.
As a business.
As a business, and not necessarily, and I say it with due respect, not necessarily in a cooperative manner, i.e. run by a co-op.
Sure.
Now, before I'm being misunderstood there as well, the TBA, the Thoroughbred Breeders Association, is a necessary organization. Absolutely. As breeders, we all belong to. I'm a member.
You're a member. Everyone's a member. Everyone's a member.
We pay our foal levies. We keep it alive. So that, excuse me, there is no, even a notion of trying to harm the TBA.
Sure.
Not at all. What we are doing in the process by trying to create this platform for buyers and sellers, we try to actually give buyers and sellers more options.
Yeah.
And it creates competition, and that I understand could be uncomfortable for certain people. But competition sometimes I think could be good. If you look back from the time that CTS has started, I think both sales arms or businesses have actually raised their game. In my assessment.
Sure. Chris, do you find that there's a scenario where Bloodstock South Africa, the breeders who are involved there, they're all members, of which you are one. Have you found that any members or breeders have aligned themselves with one sale or the other? Because the two major breeders in the country now who fought it out in the last 10 years are angling towards CTS, it seems.
Yeah, to me, to even see it that way or discuss it that way would be a little bit sad, because I don't think it's a matter of needing to be in any camp. Yeah. I mean, I have had discussions with breeders, in fact, yesterday again, and say, really, you must decide where is best for you to sell your horses.
Yeah.
What time of the year, which platform, which region. And really, there should be no animosity between people. It should actually make, for instance, buyers and vendors happy, because I've got now more options.
Yeah. Now, that's very, very important. And unfortunately, it's falling on a Friday and a Sunday now. Is that going to be the norm, or the two camps going to sit down and say, let's stretch? You've got to give buyers time. You've got to give people time.
There's a slight difficulty in all this, Paul. And I don't want to harp on things like competition and competition law and so forth.
Sure.
But when a customer came to us and said, I want you to put up a sale for me, it's very hard for a business to say no.
Because that's your business.
Purely from a commercial basis.
Sure.
But it is actually against the law to say no, because it is somebody else's territory. Inverted commas.
Okay.
Because that is segmentation of the market. And competition law will really have you in court in front of the tribunal before you blink an eye.
Okay.
You may not do that on that basis.
Sure. As you say, we're trying to get an olive branch out. We're trying to get the two teams, and it seems like we're going that way. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I would, you know.
You wouldn't like them to come down here, Chris, and say 2 weeks before yours they're putting on a bloodstock sale in Cape Town. It would be nonsensical.
Yeah, well, I may not like it, but
it's allowed.
It's allowed.
Yeah, but it's not the right thing to do.
It's competition. But as I said, you know, if one has to talk about personalities, Susan and I have got on very well over time. Absolutely.
Long may it continue.
Absolutely. And as I say, we tried for 18 months to make one sales company. We didn't do so well in the end. But I think the sooner if we want to find solutions, if there are any solutions to be found.
And can that happen?
The sooner, I'm
You're confident?
convinced of that.
Yeah.
We should do what is good for the industry.
Yes.
Whatever that may take.
Yeah. Chris, that's wonderful. Another clause that's come up has been, I use Mickey because he's been an innovator. He's been so behind the ready to runs. He's made so many changes. He's brought in major sponsors. And he looked for a buy-in clause. Now, I want to ask you, are you in favor of a buy-in clause for your ready to run horses?
Not really.
Yeah,
No, personally, I'm not.
Yeah, because if a guy buys something here and suddenly a guy's bought some and pays $500,000, gets a race for 10 million, it doesn't seem fair to the guys who are buying here.
Yeah, I prefer to treat my customers here, make them happy, feed them well.
And you've got to come here to win this
come
prize.
and buy, come and stimulate the industry, come and do something, add value.
Add value. Well, Chris, I don't think there's anything more I have to speak to you about. Thanks very, very much. I hope everyone out there enjoys what you had to say.
Thank you.
There we are, the chairman of CTS, Chris van Niekerk.
And won it. Cape Town was second or no. So number 14, All Is Secret, is victorious. Well Witcher.
And for the lads won it.
Shane takes the lead. Shane wins the Elgos.
Well, as part of the CTS Sales and Racing Festival, we started off the summer season out at Durbanville last Saturday with the Cuda Matcham Stakes and the Lanzarek Diana Stakes. Let's look back at these Grade 3 events, starting with the Lanzarek Diana Stakes.
In the Lanzarek Diana Stakes, and highly decorated. Lost about a length or two coming out of the gates and slots into the back of the field. Getting away quickly was Double Whammy from Princess of the Sky, Perpetua. In Lemonade is pushing past runners deep on the outside of them. Then comes Nana Falcon, highly decorated, and Zacharias sitting at the end of a compact field as they leave the back of the track behind. 1,000 metres left to go. Double Whammy in front leads the way. Ada Girth in second. We got in Lemonade. Half back on the inside comes Perpetua. 3/4 on the outside of that one. It's Princess of the Sky. Highly decorated Lana Falcon is sitting back one from last, and Zacharias is racing at the end of a very compact field as they corner for home. 600 metres left to go in the Lanzarek Diana Stakes. In front, it's Double Whammy, trying to make each and every caller winning one. In second along the inside, we've got the black and white colours of Perpetua. Racing up the middle, we got Princess of the Sky. Deeper out, we got Lana Falcon, highly decorated, then Zacharias as they head towards the 300 Double Whammy. Now being pressed by Princess of the Sky in the middle. Over the top, we got Lana Falcon. That's also starting to reel them into the closing stages. Double Whammy, Princess of the Sky. Lana Falcon is charging home up the outside. The post is looming. Comes in time for Double Whammy. Double Whammy kept going from Lana Falcon. Princess of the Sky, Zacharias.
Well, all the talk was for the favourite number 6, Double Whammy, who comes through smartly under Greg Sheen for the Glen Cotson stable in the Lanzarek Diana Stakes, beating home number 1, Lana Falcon. Third, going the way of Princess of the Sky, and Zacharias finishing in that 4th position.
Glen Cotson, you must be a delighted man. Well done.
Absolutely, and actually a little bit of pressure. I don't know why. All of a sudden I got nervous, but she looked a pitch in the ring, and looks like she could even be coming into season, which we'll check when we get home. But a super win. Well done to Warren Led. Absolute champion. Said, all I want to do is get a filly that can at least have a chance of running in the Guineas. This is one of them. And to my mother-in-law, thank you very much for all her support. Judd Pott, fantastic. But I have to have a special thank you to Aubrey Luck. He sold it to us, and and he bred her, and she's an awesome filly, and well done, Aubrey. He's been in the game for ages, and he deserves everything he gets.
She's got an incredible action, this filly, and she got into momentum pretty quick. There were two others in the race that appeared to have speed. Oswald came up sides for quite briefly, but I think he could see that my filly was not going to let up easy. So he did the right thing by taking a sit and probably just followed me. But this filly was always in command. It was nice.
Well, the Kuda Matcham Stakes was full of surprises over here. We thought that Africa Burn would bounce back to his best, but it was number 2 Reem under Christopher Puller and another winner for Glenn Puller.
He's pushing past in search of the lead, and there goes Reem. In front where he likes to be, to go and dictate matters up front. On the move too, we got Chestnut's Rocket. Behind that, we got Africa Burn, the white cap. And he's settling about 8 lengths off that leader. 2 away comes It Is Written, who's racing a neck in front of Ferdinand the Bull. Dynastic Power is racing at the end of a stretched out field. 14 lengths cover them. Through the middle of the bend, 800 metres left to go. And Reem is really getting on with things up front. Clears off to lead by 3. Door of Deception second. Then comes Chestnut's Rocket third. A gap of 3 behind that. We find the grey Top Jet being followed by Africa Burn. Next comes Ferdinand the Bull, It Is Written, and Dynastic Power whip them in as they settle for the run to the line. Kuda Matcham Stakes head towards the 400. Reem in front. That's the one they got to get to. Chestnut's Rocket is in the centre. Door of Deception racing next. Down the inside we got Top Jet. Africa Burn is under the stick. 3 lengths off the leader into the final 300. Reem is continuing to go in front. He's showing absolutely no sign of stopping. Down the inside of that one we find Chestnut's Rocket up the outside. Africa Burn comes late, but Reem, start to finish, will win it. Africa Burn second, Top Jet in third, and behind that we had Chestnut's Rocket.
Well, number 2 Reem comes through smartly in the Kuda Matcham Stakes, beating home the favourite number 6 Africa Burn. Third going the way of Top Jet, and number 1 Chestnut's Rocket back into that 4th position.
Yeah, he's done exceptionally well. Not expected by me. He's still difficult as far as I'm concerned, but Christopher seems to have worked him out quite well. In fact, very well. And well done to him. He's done a lot of work on the horse, and he rides him very well, and they seem to get on very well. And thank you to Kuda as well, the sponsors. I'm sorry, I forgot about them, the most important people.
Christopher, your father said, you figured this horse out, and he's been a mark of consistency now.
Yes, no, obviously when you put the blinkers on, it helped a lot. Obviously, he doesn't need it in the beginning because he pulls so hard, but at the end, just to keep him rolling. And he's done brilliantly. My dad's trained him to perfection.
New Turf Carriers is a family-run business owned by Mark and Dory Sham and their 3 sons, Michael, Matthew and Marcus. New Turf Carriers has been in long-distance transport since 1995 and pride themselves in excellent service, punctuality and loyalty to their clients. Every single stud farm and every single sale to every single racecourse, New Turf Carriers pride themselves in delivering your horse safely. The welfare of your horse is paramount, and it is to this end that we have our own midway stop between Johannesburg and Cape Town. This is situated at Colesberg, where we have a stabling facility for 60 horses, so that the horses on long trips can get off and have a rest during their journey. The bottom line is, New Turf Carriers take your horse from door to door with pride, passion and punctuality.
Warhorse. Hailed by the Sunday Times as the theatrical experience of the decade. Warhorse. Experience it live. Warhorse.
Well, the Artscape Theatre will be holding a charity performance on Thursday, the 11th of December, where you can purchase your ticket at a discounted price of only 300 Rand. Proceeds going to the National Horse Trust. For more information and bookings to see Warhorse, please call Joanne Knowles on 083 399 6353. Well, you also, some lucky viewers, stand a chance of winning a set of double tickets to this performance, courtesy of CTS. Tell us who the beneficiary of the charity performance is on Thursday, the 11th of December, and you got a chance of winning double tickets to the performance Warhorse. You can email your answers to grant@claverflay.co.za.
We believe in excellence. We believe that if you're going to do something, you do it to your best ability. We aim to make Balmoral #1 in the Southern Hemisphere, not just South Africa.
In the Lanzerac Ready to Run Stakes, presented by CTS, Red Ray gets given his head and he comes forward and takes up the running. Captain America's on the chase. Back along the inside, Accelero. The riders towards the inside. Red Ray's got a race on his hands. As Captain America falls alongside of him. Captain America, Red Ray. Captain America, Red Ray. It's Captain America climbing up. Captain America beats Red Ray on the line.
Well, all excitement building now towards the Lanzerac Ready to Run race, which takes place on the 22nd of November. 2 million rand up for prize money for this year's event. And of course, moving over to 2.5 million rand for next year's race. Let's take a look at the current log. The log is intended as a guide only and is purely based on performances thus far. Now, fillies will receive a 2.5 kilogram allowance, and this has been added to all raced fillies for log purposes.
Gavel House is the leading website for trading horses online. Selling your racehorse, mare or even a share in a yearling is so easy on Gavel House. You can browse our sires directory to match the best mating for your mare, with text description, videos and up-to-date sires reports. Gavelhouse.com is the best way to sell your horse. We reach places others can't, where buyers and sellers deal direct and pay no commission. Go to gavelhouse.com.
Well, the two horses being offered on Gavel House this evening. The first is a horse in training. Icy Breeze by Western Winter out of Guavadilla is a 2011 filly. She's going for 250,000 rand. Now, she's a strong filly peppered from a black type family. She's purchased at the National Yearling Sale for 2013, and Icy Breeze is currently in full work with Stuart Pettigrew and has recently raced. She is by Winning Dam Guavadilla, who's a half-sister to Red Badge and Ravishing. If you're interested, get in contact with Roland Pretorius. The other horse on offer is an unraced, unnamed Rock of Rochelle out of Rhinestone. I can tell you there was plenty of interest in the progeny of Rock of Rochelle out at the CTS Ready to Run sales this past weekend. This is a 2012 filly. There's a 50% available for 60,000 Rand. She's a smart, athletic filly, and she's from the family of Trademark, Lamborina, and In the Fast Lane, etc. She's a half-sister to Play of Light, who's a 3-times winner with 5 places from 11 starts. And her dam Rhinestone was a 4-times winner and placed in the Greyville SA Fillies Guineas Grade 1, the Clarewood Gold Circle Oaks Grade 2, and the Greyville Wool Lavington Grade 2 as well. Contact Mark Bass if you're interested in this 50% share on offer. Well, that's a wrap for this week's Breeding to Win. Next week, Grant will be bringing you Breeding to Win from Summerhill Stud, where we'll be taking a look at the gallops for the Johannesburg CTS Ready to Run sale, which takes place on Friday, the 31st of October, out at Inanda Club. Join us then. From myself, Julie Alexander, and the rest of the Breeding to Win team, good night.